We're the audience.
Say hi, audience.
Hello, I'm the audience.
Hello, audience. Alrighty.
I know you can't see anything right now. Alrighty. Hello. So today I'm giving a speech called The Psychology of Color. Alright. So, why does red mean stop and green mean go? Why are police cars red, white, and blue, or car lights? How is it possible for something as simple as color to have a physical effect on a person? So when I was a freshman in high school, I took this class called Business Principles, which was really weird for me because I had never really taken any like marketing or economics classes or anything like that. But it actually got me really involved into DECA and just like marketing and PR and advertising. It was really cool. And while I don't actually practice any of these skills now, one of the things I did learn was about the psychology of color and how it applies to advertising, which still sticks with me today because I do focus in psychology, and I just thought it was really cool. So color is a very powerful thing, and it can have a huge effect on you and your decision making. However, color psychology isn't exactly a one-size-fits-all because it does, some feelings towards specific colors can be determined by culture, past experience, and even personal preference. Specific colors are able to provoke emotions and specific responses, and these ideas are a key factor in working in areas like interior design and advertising. So tonight, I'm going to share with you the ideas behind color psychology and how they're implemented in everyday life. So, let's start with the beginning of the rainbow. Start with red. I'm wearing red tonight. Actually, so the three top colors that the human eye sees first, number 1 is yellow, number 2 is red, number 3 is orange. And it's just based on wavelength. So yellow has the longest wave, red has the next, and then orange. So one of the first colors visible to the human eye, red is a complete symbol of power. So if you think of the red carpet at a show, celebrities walk it, it's very powerful. It's reserved for only the best of the best. Red is usually common to signify excitement, opportunity, or a warning or caution, which is why stop signs and fire trucks are red. And that's why tail lights, anything, it's the first color we see, and plus it also signifies like a warning or a danger or caution. So, orange is very similar in that it's very attention-seeking, and it also is, but it is considered more playful and is often related to energy, creativity, and happiness. So think of like Nickelodeon or the Home Depot. Encourages like creativity and building and stuff like that. And it's also heavily used in advertising and then street signs and traffic cones. So, always in everyday life. So, yellow rounds out the top 3, and it's no coincidence that all 3 of these colors are most commonly used in advertising. So think about it, like McDonald's, Chick-fil-A, Wendy's, so many things, Sonic, a lot of different fast food logos, and all of them have at least the primary colors, but definitely red and yellow, blue. So yellow is very warm and is often associated with optimism, clarity, and attention. However, tread lightly with this color because while it is the most visible color, it is the most difficult on the eye. So it can also bring out frustrations, and babies tend to cry more in yellow rooms. It's very interesting. So, which is also why highlighters are yellow, because it's the first color you see. But also, that's why red is more used in advertising as opposed to yellow, because red, while it's just as attention-seeking, it's not as painful on the eye as yellow is. So yellow tends to hurt people's eyes more as opposed to red. So now we're going to move into cooler tones. So we're going to go into green. Green is most commonly associated with nature and health. It often brings like a calming feeling. So if you think about Animal Planet, Whole Foods, John Deere, just a lot of like nature, healthy, nutrition, all that. And if you think about it, TV guests often sit in a green room to relax. I didn't even know that. I thought that was really cool. So green is also associated with safety, hence the comparison to a green light. So it is safe to proceed. But then also, red and green are opposites on the color wheel, so you don't get them confused. So like, you can see the complete contrast too, although somehow people still run red lights. So, and then blue is the next color. This is a color that is very popular in advertising. It is actually the most preferred color of men. Learn that. It's often a very common favorite color. And blue tends to stand for productivity, calmness, and trust. Oftentimes, many computer and internet companies will use blue in their logos to instill trust, like HP, what else? McDonald's, Dell, like, and also car companies as well. So like Ford is one that I'm specifically thinking of. Blue is also actually considered a very sad color, and it's the least appetizing. So I guess less fast food places, so I guess less restaurants will use blue in their logos, and often weight loss tips will suggest eating off of a blue plate. So now we're going to move on to the two colors that are not colors at all, black and white. So black is actually not a color, but rather the absorption of every single color. So when light hits something and it is like those lights are absorbed by that fabric, it shows up as black. So any way you put it, black is still very powerful, and it's often used in more expensive brands, being associated with sophistication and wealth. So think of like Chanel, just very like clean black and white, and also black tie events, very sophisticated. And it also signifies villains. So if you think about Voldemort, Darth Vader, just very dark, very ominous. And it's also a great example of how cultural difference can change a color's interpretation, because obviously in the Western world, black is obviously very associated with like death and stuff like that, but actually it is not the same in more Eastern countries like China. They associate white with death. That was very interesting. And so, speaking of white, white is actually the absence of color, so it's all light being reflected off of it, which is why it's best to wear a white shirt as opposed to a black one on a hot day, because the black one will absorb all the light, where the white one will reflect it. So yeah. With this, white is a symbol of purity and cleanliness. One of the most common places white will always be seen is in a wedding, because it's traditionally, the bride's supposed to be like a virgin, and it's supposed to be like giving her away the white. So it's very clean, although apparently blue used to be a very common symbol in weddings for purity. So white is also used in interior design to make a space appear larger as opposed to black, which will make it appear smaller. And white can also symbolize emptiness and blandness and sterileness. Sterility? I don't know. So it's also very associated with hospitals. So, and advertising, it's used in contrast with another color, like most colors, to use freshness, like to incorporate freshness and safety. So like Volkswagen, Ford, a lot of people use it as fonts to appear brighter and to stand out more. So, in conclusion, color has a greater effect on us than anyone can imagine, and I thought it was so fascinating how certain colors are able to stir up certain emotions. And it's also even more fascinating to look around at different signs and think how those specific colors were picked out in order to elicit a certain emotion out of the consumer. So through colors and art, we were able to express ourselves and our emotion without ever saying any words. And color also has the ability to have different meanings around the world as each culture brings out new associations. So I hope y'all learned a little more about color today. And what's your favorite color? Thank you.